The Kent State Athletic Department is in hot water. We have the story and why the university president declined a meeting with athletic supporters.
The Democratic presidential debate is in Ohio tomorrow night, and candidates are campaigning all around the state today. We'll tell you what to look for during the debate.
But first, the man who stalked Kent State sorority homes for nearly a month is now behind bars. The charges he faces coming up as your Monday edition of TV2 News starts right now.
This is TV2 News.
He's now known as the Kent State Porch Prowler, and he's now in jail. Good evening, Kent State and all of Portage County. I'm Madison Tromler.
And I'm Kendra Hughley. 43-year-old Stephen Friends Reb was taken into custody around 10:30 Friday night in Broadview Heights. The U.S. Marshals Service assisted Kent police in the arrest just hours after they learned of his identity.
Friends Reb is accused of several crimes, which began in August when he showed up nearly naked outside of the Alpha Phi sorority house. He then showed up again in September and then to the Delta Gamma house in early October.
He is with a fourth-degree felony of menacing by stalking, and he could face up to 18 months in prison.
And his indictment is tomorrow morning, and TV2 will give you up-to-the-minute coverage. Stick with us on social media at TV2. Well, in other Kent State news, a group of the university's athletic supporters recently launched a campaign against the athletic director of the school. A website called Remove Nielsen was created. Additionally, a letter was sent to the university president a month ago asking to meet with him regarding issues they see in the athletic department. The letter states concerns of a range of issues, including gender equality and a toxic work environment. The president declined to meet with these individuals because some of them are not employees of the university. You can read the full letter and who signed it on KentWire.com.
The Lorain County Sheriff's Office has arrested a man after investigating sexual misconduct allegations. The Sheriff's Office reports William Wolf was arrested for raping a teen at a pool party in August. Wolf was released on a $50,000 bond.
Well, an update on the United Automobile Workers strike. They're now entering the 5th week. However, a deal may be in their future. This comes after GM confirmed it has received UAW's counter offer sent Friday night. This past weekend, the union announced striking workers will get a 10% increase on their weekly pay. The counter offer is still under review. If it goes through, both sides will have reached a deal.
If you've driven and have been frustrated with the other drivers, you are not alone. In fact, Cleveland is the worst driving city in the country, one of the worst. Quote Wizard has ranked Cleveland the 7th worst driving city. They evaluated cities on 4 factors to determine overall driver quality and took a composite ranking of overall incidents, including accidents, speeding tickets, DUIs, or other citations. Now, Cleveland isn't the worst in Ohio. Columbus is ranked 4th.
And speaking of driving safety, well, I'm sure you've seen those witty and creative messages the Ohio Department of Transportation posts on the highway. Well, now they're taking submissions from the public. You can head over to zerodeaths.ohio.gov to submit your message. The winning entry will be on all message boards across the state.
And hello guys, we are looking at some pretty nice temperatures today in Kent. It is 55 right now and the sun is making its appearance as it is getting ready to set. It's a pretty nice day out there. I unfortunately had to put the shorts away and pull out some jeans and a sweatshirt for today, walking from class to class. And just taking a look throughout the rest of Northeast Ohio, we have pretty similar temperatures. We have Mansfield at 58, we have Youngstown at 57, Canton sitting a little higher at 63. And just taking a look at tonight, temperatures will be continuing to drop down to 44 degrees. Skies will remain clear as well with some wind gusts as well. And also tonight we have a frost advisory for Portage County from 2 to 9 a.m. So just a little driving home that cold factor there for you guys. And just looking at tomorrow, temperatures will be coming back up, thankfully, to 67 degrees. So maybe pull out those shorts, a light jacket for you tomorrow. Definitely a nice day to be out and about. The sun will be making its appearance as well with some clouds lingering. But be sure to stick around for my full forecast to see what we'll be seeing the rest of this week.
About a month after a woman was killed by a falling log at Ohio State Park, 2 arrests have been made. Both suspects are teenagers. Brittany Bailey has more.
If you just look at the fact that this was over 30 days since this has happened and these kids have not come forward, to me that shows that they're not remorseful, that they're trying to cover something up and they're trying to hide this.
The prosecutor says back on Labor Day, the two 16-year-old boys were with two teenage girls near Old Man's Cave. He says the two admitted to pushing or rolling a log 44 feet, either over or around other fallen trees to get it to the edge of the cliff. What happened after that exactly is still not clear because the prosecutor says their stories do not match right now. So investigators do not know if they knew people were down below in harm's way. But Victoria Schaefer was below, taking senior pictures for a group of students. She was killed instantly. Every lead since that time went cold until this week when a parent called Crime Stoppers after learning about a text reportedly sent from one of the teenagers saying he had done something serious at the park.
Being a busy holiday weekend, we just kind of assumed that it was somebody from out of town. We get a lot of tourists down here. We just assumed that it was tourists. And then to find out that it was not just in our backyard, but our own community has known about this, or at least some certain people in our community have known about this and known about their responsibility or their connection to it is very frustrating.
TV2 News, you might want to hug your furry friend a bit tighter tonight because they could be the reason you live a longer life, and we'll tell you why.
And when we return, the Democratic presidential candidates have been campaigning around the state today before tomorrow's debate in Columbus. A breakdown of what you can expect when we return.
And with temperatures all over the place, stay tuned to see what to expect for the rest of this week.
It's not my first time bartending, so.
It's a sausage party in here.
It's fine. I'm very familiar.
Yeah, because you're a sexy girl, Sam. Last thing,
Yeah.
is that the music, when Momo kicks it into high gear, is going to get a little bit loud in here. So your customers are going to have a hard time hearing you. So you may want to.
What?
Welcome back to TV2 News. Two Southern California wildfires burned through 8,300 acres of land, leaving 3 dead and forcing thousands to evacuate on Saturday. 2 victims were found at the Villa Calmisa Mobile Park home in Calmisa, California. In Los Angeles, a man suffered from a heart attack and later died because of the fumes from the wildfire. The fires have caused over 100,000 people to evacuate from their homes. Officials say that both fires were partially contained. The second Democratic debate is set for tomorrow, right here in the Buckeye State.
The candidates are expected to discuss key issues such as gun control, but this time around, impeachment. Our reporter Maddie Haberberger has more on what to expect tomorrow night. Maddie?
Thanks, guys. Now, the 4th presidential debate will take place at Otterbein University in Westerville tomorrow night. This marks the first gathering of the candidates since the impeachment inquiry against President Trump was launched just weeks ago. Here's everything you need to know ahead of the debate. Now, in order to qualify for the debate, candidates had to have 130,000 individual donors and be polling at least 2% before the October 1st deadline. The positions the candidates take on the stage is determined by their polling averages, with those polling highest taking center stage. From right to left, the candidates are seated as follows. Former Housing and Urban Development Secretary Julian Castro, Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar, former Texas Rep. Beto O'Rourke, entrepreneur Andrew Yang, South Bend Mayor Pete Buttigieg, Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, former VP Joe Biden, Vermont Senator Bernie Sanders, California Senator Kamala Harris, New Jersey Senator Cory Booker, billionaire Tom Steyer, and Hawaii Rep. Tulsi Gabbard. Many candidates arrived in Ohio over the weekend, with several appearing at the Ohio Democratic State Party dinner, including Yang, Klobuchar, and Buttigieg.
Instead of tax cuts for corporations, we will empower workers, and we will match the ambition of the Marshall Plan that rebuilt Europe with a Douglas Plan to end systemic racism in this country, because your race should have no bearing on your health or your wealth or your life expectancy in this nation.
As in previous debates, candidates are expected to speak on contentious topics like health care, immigration, and taxation. Now, President Trump is only the fourth president in history to face impeachment, so the ongoing inquiry is expected to be a hot topic. Current frontrunners include Biden, Warren, and Sanders, and for many of the lower polling candidates like newcomer Tom Steyer, this debate is an opportunity to set themselves apart from the crowd.
Look, I know that beating Mr. Trump is still job one in 2020. If he makes it to the ballot, may I say, which I'm quite dubious about.
CNN anchors Anderson Cooper and Aaron Burnett, as well as New York Times national editor Mark Lacey, will moderate. TV2 and Kent Wired will be in Westerville tomorrow evening as the candidates take the stage at Otterbein. Be sure to follow our debate updates on KentWired.com and on our social media accounts. For TV2 News, I'm Maddie Haberberger.
All right, Maddie, lots to come. Thank you. Well, Congress is back in session this week as they move through the impeachment inquiry process. CNN has the latest updates in Washington.
Even with President Trump vowing to stonewall the impeachment inquiry.
I never thought I'd see or hear that word with regard to me, impeachment.
Some past and present members of his administration are planning to appear before Congress. This morning, former White House official Fiona Hill is expected to testify behind closed doors after receiving a subpoena. She will join former Special Envoy to Ukraine Kurt Volker and former Ambassador to Ukraine Marie Yovanovitch, two Trump officials who have already testified. House Democrats hoping Gordon Sondland, the ambassador to the European Union, will do the same Thursday, responding to a subpoena after the State Department blocked his scheduled hearing last week.
He's going to tell the truth. He's going to be under oath. He'll know that if he lies, there are other people that are privy to much of what will be said.
Sondland in the spotlight after House Democrats released text messages between him and other diplomats. In one exchange, senior U.S. diplomat Bill Taylor writing, "I think it's crazy to withhold security assistance for help with a political campaign." Sondland replying over 4 hours later, "I believe you are incorrect about President Trump's intentions. The president has been crystal clear, no quid pro quos of any kind." According to the Washington Post, Sondland will tell Congress the phrase "no quid pro quo" came directly from President Trump in a phone call. But Sondland doesn't know if Trump was telling the truth, according to a source familiar with Sondland's planned testimony. The president repeating his claim in the weeks since the Ukraine drama unfolded.
The whistleblower said quid pro quo 8 times. It was a little off, no times.
There was no quid pro quo.
There was never any quid pro quo.
Republican Congressman Lee Zeldin calling the quid pro quo argument a fairy tale.
The fact that we are tearing the country in half, trying to bring down a sitting president, I have a problem with that.
House Intelligence Chairman Adam Schiff says he has problems too, but with Trump's alleged conduct.
It is clear already, I think, from the text messages that this meeting that the Ukraine president sought was being conditioned on their willingness to interfere in the U.S. election to help the president.
Pro-democracy protesters gathered in Hong Kong's Chatter Garden today, calling on the U.S. Congress to pass the Hong Kong's Human Rights and Democracy Act. Hong Kong's government released a statement on the matter, quote, expressing regret over the demonstrations and reiterating that foreign government should not interfere in Hong Kong's internal affairs. U.S. Congress is expected to vote on the bill on Tuesday or Wednesday in Washington, D.C.
And we're still looking at some pretty interesting temperatures all throughout Ohio. It was pretty cold today, but places like Cincinnati are seeing 66, 62 in Dayton, 57 in Lima, 63 in Columbus. So pretty brisk day out there, but pretty on par for this time of year. And just taking a look forward to tomorrow, at around 6 a.m. we're going to be seeing 37 degrees, so definitely a brisk start to the morning. So definitely bundle up, maybe start your car a little bit before you have to leave tomorrow morning. But as we get to noon tomorrow, the sun will be out in full force, 59 degrees, so maybe you can lose that jacket that you started the day with. And taking a look at around this time tomorrow, 6 p.m., That sun will be going away a little bit behind some clouds, but the temperature will be going up to 64. So definitely a good day to look forward to tomorrow. After today, I'm excited for it. Temperatures are going to be a little higher. And just taking a look at the radar, we're going to be seeing clear skies for at least tomorrow and the beginning half of this week, as a lot of the rain that we are seeing throughout the country has moved past us, mainly this past weekend. And speaking of the rest of this week, our 7-day is definitely looking very nice. Tomorrow, as I said, 67. Wednesday going down a little bit to 53, some rain. Thursday down a little bit even more, 50. So definitely bundle up on those days. A little colder as we go throughout the rest of this week. So definitely starting to feel a lot more like fall as we get into October. So maybe put those shorts away for good and pull out those sweaters, guys.
Well, we did have a beautiful day today, and I think the debate this time of year is whether to have your heat on or not.
No, I told my roommates when we moved in, I said the heat will not be on. I'll buy blankets, no heat. I like to be cold. So.
Do you? See, I kind of want the heat. It's been on and off for me.
I mean,
so.
I'm okay. I haven't turned my heat on just yet, but
a little too early too.
Right.
Yeah. I'd say like more towards November.
Yeah, around Thanksgiving, Christmas, it's that time of year.
That's right. All right, thank you, Chris.
Thanks, Chris. The rate of reported suicide among African Americans is growing, especially among African American boys. On Monday, a study published by medical journal Pediatrics says the rate of suicide among African American youth has increased, while the suicide rate of other youth has decreased. Suicide is the second leading cause of death for teens. Other research has found that stressors like bullying, family abuse, and discrimination play a role in suicide attempts. A Christopher Columbus statue in Rhode Island is covered in red paint for Columbus Day. The statue had a sign under it that said, "Stop celebrating genocide." Columbus Day has grown disputable after activists began pushing to change the day to an Indigenous Peoples Day. 2 other statues were painted in Providence and San Francisco.
This summer, some scary stuff will be happening in Akron. Find out why the city will be in Hollywood when we come back.
Kent State waited all year to get revenge on Akron. So how did they fare on Saturday? I'll tell you when we return in a flash.
See on page 4 that projections need to be blood. Next Thursday?
Seriously? Thursday? Can't do that.
This is really inconvenient.
I have yoga that day. I have no time for this. So.
I can't do Thursday, but I can do Friday.
Disasters don't plan ahead. You can. Talk to your loved ones about how you're going to be ready in an emergency. Don't wait. Communicate.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Hello everyone, Ben Pagani with you, and this weekend, after 5 years of defeat, the Kent State Golden Flashes finally beat rival Akron. We start in the first quarter. Dustin Crum runs play action, long ball, and hits Isaiah McCoy for a 49-yard dagger. Akron quarterback Cato Nelson hits Michael Matheson with a 33-yard pass. Spectacular catch, but this ends the drive with a missed field goal. Now, here comes Will Matthews for the Flashes, who takes in a 5-yard run for a touchdown. He didn't even know he was playing before the game. But Dustin Crum, he's going to hold on to the ball. He's going to make Akron look silly. He's going to run it down. And eventually, Kent State pulls off the win, 26-3, and claims the wagon wheel for the first time in 5 years. Here's Will Matthews.
It's a lot of work, man, especially to us seniors. The guys who've been here for 5 years, 4 years, all the work we've been through, all the years we've been through, all the games that we've lost, everything is just starting to pay off, and it's starting to be a snowball effect, so we have to just keep that.
While Kent State football took care of business against Akron on Saturday, the women's soccer team also beat Akron. The team got off to an early start with a goal just 2 minutes into the game. Junior Vital Cats would add a free kick goal in the second half that would secure a 2-0 victory. Now the game the team will get ready for a matchup this week versus Eastern Michigan. And the Kent State field hockey team was coming off a strong showing against Indiana. Now, they had a few days off to prepare for a Miami team that was able to get out to an early lead, 1-0, before the Flashes fought back and clinched the victory 3-2. That marks the 4th win in a row for the squad, and they will look to make it 5 in a row on Friday against Central Michigan. Well, how about a little bit of Browns action? Dontrell Hilliard making everyone miss on his way to a very long run. He keeps his balance there, but he keeps shaking off defenders, and Seattle won't be able to take him down till about the 20-yard line. And then Nick Chubb, this is his specialty, scoring touchdowns for the Cleveland Browns, and he puts them out to an early lead, 7-0. But how about Russell Wilson? Nobody runs spy on him, and he makes the Browns pay. And then later, the Browns are able to hit Jarvis Landry, setting up Baker Mayfield for a little bit of a run like Russell Wilson had. And he keeps the Browns with the lead, 14-6. And here's another pass from Baker Mayfield. He can run, he can throw, but where did it go wrong for the Browns? Well, maybe an interception in the end zone will be the answer for that one. Baker had 3 turnovers in the game. Russell Wilson makes the Browns pay, and the Seahawks have a couple opportunities. There's a few quick touchdowns, but the Browns with a run. Nick Chubb again in for a touchdown. He did have a costly fumble in this game. Now, Chris Carson says hold the phone and is able to give the Seahawks the lead, but Baker Mayfield throws this interception at the end, and it is 32-28 Seahawks. That'll wrap it up for sports, but tonight at 8 o'clock on Sports Corner, we will give you an inside look at the wagon wheel game between Kent and Akron. Until then, for TV2 Sports, I'm Ben Pagani.
Thanks, Ben. If you live in the Cleveland area, we have the scoop on how you can make your debut on the big screen. TV2 will be back in 60 seconds.
There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt. There's a shelter pet who wants to meet you. Meet one today. Visit theshelterpetproject.org. Adopt.
Well, streaming services are becoming more and more popular, and Disney is the next company to launch one on November 12th. It's called Disney Plus, and the company said consumers can expect pretty much everything. The announcement came in none other than a massive Twitter thread listing each movie and show one by one. Disney previously said there would be around 500 movies and 7,000 TV episodes. From Snow White to Peter Pan, just about everything should be on there.
Sticking with Hollywood, thousands of extras are needed for 2 movies filming in Cleveland this fall. Both films are looking for extras of all ages and ethnicities. The first film, Cherry, will be directed by Cleveland natives Joe and Anthony Russo. The movie will star Tom Holland and will shoot from October 14th through December 10th. The other film, Untitled, from the Fred Hampton Project, will be a film in October 21st through December 18th. All extras will be paid anywhere from $9 to $13 hourly and are guaranteed to work about 8 hours a day. If you would like to send in your information, you can do so by clicking the link on the bottom of your screen.
And the opportunity for stardom doesn't end there. This time in Akron, it'll be a horror movie called Copley Road to be filmed in the summer of 2020. The tagline is, "It all started in Akron." The movie is set in a fictional version of the city. 25 Hill is another film shot in Akron and was released in July of 2011. The production team of Copley Road says they would love to involve the community as much as possible, so we'll have to stay tuned for that.
Our four-legged friends can bring a lot more than just happiness into our homes. A new study shows that just owning a dog can increase your life. Meredith Wood explains everything in today's Health Minute.
I'm getting a belly rub. They're called man's best friend for many reasons. And here's one more for you. Owning a dog can reduce the chance of dying early. A study published in the Journal of the American Heart Association combed through 70 years of research. involving nearly 4 million people in several countries. The result? They found owning a dog was linked to a 24% reduction in all mortality causes. And for people who suffered a heart attack or stroke, having a four-legged companion reduced their risk of dying from cardiovascular disease by 31%. This was echoed by a second study that found people who own dogs had better health outcomes after suffering a stroke or heart attack. It's unclear exactly what the link is, but there are guesses. For instance, increased activity. The American Heart Association points to a study that found pet owners who walk their dogs get 30 more minutes of exercise per day than those who don't walk. And other studies have found that just petting a dog or having a canine companion can reduce your blood pressure and reduce anxiety and depression. For today's Health Minute, I'm Meredith Wood.
Well, look at that. And I actually did interview a woman who has a bunch of greyhound dogs, and she actually said that her dogs did save her life. She went through many things, and she's kind of a testament to that. So, seems like dogs really are better than humans.
Yeah, really, I guess it does solve the debate of cats or dogs once and for all, it seems like.
Hands down dogs.
I love cats, though. I don't love cats, but I had a cat that, she wasn't a normal cat. She was basically like a dog. She was amazing. She passed away, but she was amazing. Yeah.
No, yeah, I just got my first cat of my own, so I love dogs, but I just feel like cats are a lot more easier, and plus, I feel like they attach a lot more better, so hopefully the same health benefits are associated with having a cat as well, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think there's pros and cons to cats and dogs, different, reasons to like them both.
Right. We'll see, we'll see if he'll come out with anything.
If you are wanting to walk your four-legged friend, cat or dog, the weather is going to be looking a little iffy for that, at least Wednesday and Thursday with the rain that we'll be seeing. But this weekend will be a good time to get out there, maybe even go to a dog park with your four-legged friend and get some last-minute action before that rain and snow takes over for the rest of this year.
All right, well, look at that. I think the weather's been pretty good. I mean, today was so sunny. Definitely a perfect night to go walk the dog.
Oh, yeah.
I love the sun. I mean, I love the fall weather. We can get our mugs. It's time to just relax, go football.
Yeah,
go to football
and
games.
I can't believe Halloween's already here.
I know. Before we know it, to be 2020.
So what do you guys want to be for Halloween?
Oof, that's a loaded question.
I actually might not be here for Halloween. I might be in Las Vegas. So.
Oh, wow.
Ooh. Well, you'll see costumes regardless.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So.
All right, well, that will do it for our edition of TV2 News. Thank you for joining us. You can always find the latest headlines and breaking news on Ken Wired.
And it was a huge weekend for sports in Ohio. Be sure to tune in for an all-new episode of Sports Corner tonight at 8. I'm Kendra Hughley.
And I'm Madison Tromler. From all of us at Portage County's TV2, have a great night.